like to think I look like a grown-up Matilda. I have the bangs for that one. But recently, a bartender told me that I look like Billy Lord from American Horror Story, but only in the face. And my personal American Horror Story is being called fat to my face.
Oh.
That and the fact that Joe Biden is still running for president. That's a So I was recently on Instagram and I got a targeted ad for a rose quartz weighted face mask. And now I know the ghost of Steve Jobs never sleeps. Because I love all those things separately, but they put it all together just for me and sent it right to my Instagram. And I think the reason Steve Jobs never sleeps, even though he's dead, is because his last name is Jobs. And that would explain why I'm up here, because my last name is Barker. So I'm having a hard time deciding what to get my dad for his birthday. It's like, what do you get the man who has ruined your dating life? I say that because, like, my dad's like a really good guy. And I trusted men for a really long time. But don't worry, I don't do that anymore. I actually got dumped by an improviser semi-recently. It was 5 days before Christmas after 2.5 years. And I really feel like we were just getting into the second beat of the herald that is our love. I had just finished doing my opening arms. I was like, woo! And he was like, no, but we're done. You know, he kind of did like a swipe at it and was like, that's our show. I thought we were going to move in together. But I tell this story because it's true, and I would never tell something that was so tragic if it wasn't true. I just want you all to know that about me. So my dad is Irish, my mom is Irish American, and I identify as a messy bitch. My life is kind of a mess, but at least I've never wanted to go to grad school. I know all my friends are having a hard time whenever they start talking about studying for the GRE. It's like studying for the GRE, bleaching your hair, or moving to Denver. If your friend mentions any one of those things, we need to sit them down because that's a red flag. I actually think about my Tinder bio a lot for someone who's not on Tinder. I've decided my Tinder bio would be, some people may say I'm plus size, but I'm just unwilling to downsize. That might just be my Real Housewives tagline. Who's to say? I want to read some tweet drafts for you because we're in a really scary time. And I'm all about facing my fears. So I'm going to read some Twitter drafts that I'm afraid to read because I want to face my fears. But I'm really afraid that if I actually had tweeted these things, I would get canceled. So we're just going to see what happens. So, I have this theory about generations and what they value. Boomers, they value physical attractiveness. Gen X values music. Millennials value humor. And Gen Z values absolutely nothing. Do I sound bitter? So I don't actually shave anymore since the pandemic, and it would be really easy for me to make a joke right now about how it's lazy not to shave, but it's actually not lazy to have to explain a choice you've made about your body to people that are supposed to love you unconditionally. This is a subtweet for my mother. Another tweet: intermittent fasting, diet or gateway eating disorder? One thing that really annoys me is that all these different streaming apps have different locations for their play pause button. And it really messes with my muscle memory. It's like when you go to reach for something and it's not there. It's like Casper the Friendly Ghost. And it almost makes me feel bad for men who have trouble finding their partner's clit. Just kidding. I don't know any men. ever. That would be like pitying Christopher Columbus for failing to accomplish what he set out to do. And I'm actually talking about Christopher Columbus, the director of the first 2 Harry Potter movies, not the genocidal maniac. I actually ran this joke by my mom, and she said, "Do you really think he's a genocidal maniac?"
Oh my God.
And I explained to her that I actually went to college with Christopher Columbus's son, the director. And anyone who willingly pays for their child to go to the Tisch School of the Arts is a genocidal maniac. I believe we need to make a wish for young adults with chronic depression. Some examples would be partying with Sonia Morgan from Real Housewives of New York, going on a gay cruise that ends in Dollywood, and making a TikTok with the ghost of John Bonet explaining exactly why her brother killed her over a piece of pineapple, finally bringing justice to a little blonde beauty queen you never could stop thinking about. Hashtag justice for blondes. I tend to blame all my life issues on my mom. I wish I could blame my dad, but honestly, he wasn't around enough. And that's a subtweet for my dad. When a Facebook acquaintance starts posting inspirational quotes, I turn into Where's Waldo. I start looking for signs of a breakup or a meltdown. A red and white shirt sprouts from my chest and a beanie from my head. And a big old dong sprouts from my nether regions. You know Where's Waldo is hung. He looks like a guy from 2012 Brooklyn in circa like 2012. And I met that guy, and I can tell you he had a big dong. I have binge remorse about shows that I wish I had never binged. This season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they were very homophobic towards Brandy and Denise. Selling Sunset, because I am in real estate and it's not really fun watching shows about your job, and the DNC. I think drunk driving is fine if you're related to a cop or a Kennedy. Picture this: Donald Trump's final meal. A chicken Kiev, but the outside is flaming hot Cheetos, and the inside is Steve Bannon's pre-cum. No, but honestly, I actually think it's very lazy to criticize Trump's appearance or call him insane. And as a chubby woman, every time I hear someone call Trump chubby, I think they're talking about me. Also, as a woman who struggles with mental health, it makes me think you hate me, and it reminds me that you hate my body and my mind. This is a subtweet for too many people to name. I just think it's typical that people assume Shaggy was lying in his song It Wasn't Me. It's literally in the title. He said it wasn't him. Believe men. My sexual awakening was Jafar in Aladdin, the 1992 movie. And I was and still am attracted to the bad guy, facial hair, and talking birds. So Liz Warren still hasn't called me to thank me for donating, and I'm just wondering, like, what's holding her up? Like, does she have a job? But I did just hear Joe Biden's calling people to donate. He's going to be calling people who donate over a certain amount. And, like, I do want him to be president, given the alternative, but I don't want him to call me. I just realized that coughing in public is worse than accidentally queefing on your grandma. But this is actually this is really distracting me. So I just realized that I have all this hair in my hair tie, and it's really gross. So I read an article that there's the number of cells that are in your hair tie are actually more than in a 10-week-old aborted fetus. And I'm just wondering, where is the march for all the hair ties that I lose? Like, where is it? Why isn't there an annual march for? I lose at least 12 hair ties a month. That's way more than people have abortions. So I would just like to say that I think getting canceled isn't that big of a deal. I feel like everyone who gets canceled doesn't actually get canceled. And I believe it's a part of your journey. It's like your Wikipedia article. It's like early life, canceled, reign of terror. And I think that's fine. So that's my time. And thank you all so much. Have a great night. I'll be with you.